I obtained photographic evidence of my wife cheating on me. She is currently pregnant, and there's a possibility that the baby isn't mine. I'm not entirely sure why I'm sharing this, but I've been drinking heavily today, so I apologize if I start to sound incoherent. I'm a 40-year-old male, and my wife is 38. She always made it clear that she didn't want children, and although I desired them, I loved her more than the idea of becoming a father. I met my wife when I was 20, and she was 18. We got married by the time I turned 22. She came from a privileged background, and her parents disapproved of me, believing that she had married beneath her social status. A few months ago, she visited her parents, and her father gifted her a new car. Given that her parents were wealthy and I trusted her, I didn't question it. Moreover, her father had given her gifts in the past, so I didn't think this one was any different. A few weeks ago, my wife informed me that she was pregnant, and I was overjoyed, more than I had ever been before. But my happiness was short-lived. A friend called me and disclosed that he had spotted her with her sister's husband while she was visiting her parents. She didn't mention anything about seeing him to me. Their relationship had always made me uneasy, but I reassured myself that she had chosen me. Despite having the option to be with him, she had chosen me. After my friend sent me some pictures, everything changed. The images depicted a couple who were incredibly close. They were gazing at each other and holding each other, performing intimate gestures that only those familiar with each other would do. In one picture, she was looking at him with a gaze that I had hoped was reserved for me, while he had his hands in her hair as he kissed her. It became clear to me that he was the one who bought her a car. Confronted her about it and asked what had happened, but she lied and claimed that she hadn't seen him. She told me that I should be aware of their relationship and that she had to be civil with him, very civil. When I showed her the pictures and asked her to leave, that was a week ago. But after doing some calculations, I realized that the dates matched up, indicating that there was a high likelihood that he might be the father of the baby. Today, I requested a DNA test from her, but she became furious at the thought of subjecting her child to such a test. Without one, I won't be able to accept the child as mine. The situation has caused me to reassess my marriage and my wife's honesty. I'm questioning whether the gifts she received were truly from her father or if she traded sexual favors for them. This has led me to wonder if I am married to someone who has engaged in such behavior. I have shared the pictures with her sister, not out of a desire to do the right thing, but to inflict pain upon my wife and brother-in-law. This is currently the only way I feel I can get back at them. I plan to consult with a lawyer on Monday to initiate the divorce process. I appreciate you taking the time to read my message, and I apologize if it is disorganized. My mental state is not at its best, and I have consumed a significant amount of alcohol. I understand that on the internet, people may have doubts about what I am saying, and that is their right. But I am in a situation where I require my partner's consent for a DNA test, and she has refused to provide it. As a result, my only option is to proceed with a divorce and risk losing half of my assets. It is worth noting that in the UK courts, infidelity is not given as much weight as other factors. Please forgive any errors in spelling or grammar, as they may be due to my dyslexia and high blood alcohol level. The second story. Jesus said if you get hit on one cheek, turn the other. The guy in this story is much cooler than Jesus in this. Let's hear his story. Between 2016 and 2021, we shared a loving and dedicated relationship. We were friends before becoming romantically involved, which allowed us to establish a strong connection based on mutual interests and compatibility. The first 4 years of our relationship were truly wonderful. I have never experienced such intense feelings of love before, and I was enamored by her intelligence, humor, and striking beauty. Our physical intimacy was magical and never failed to satisfy us both, but the emotional connection we shared was even more fulfilling. Perhaps it was a mistake, But a few months into our relationship, I gave her a promise ring. It was not a promise of engagement. The promise ring was a symbol of our commitment to remain loyal and devoted to each other throughout our relationship. She reciprocated by giving me one, and I was determined to prove my love for her. I knew that my ex had been betrayed in a previous relationship, and I wanted to show her what true love really felt like. Despite living in different cities, we spent a significant amount of time together, and our families approved of our relationship. Although she had been with other men before me, she always assured me that I was the best she had ever had. She once told me that no one had ever loved her as much as I did, which made me incredibly happy and even more committed to our relationship. Although we struggled with trust issues over the years, everything else was fantastic. About 3 years ago, our relationship was still going strong when she called me one day. As usual, I answered the phone with a cheerful greeting, but received no response. Instead, I heard muffled sounds in the background. I could hear her voice, but there were sounds in the background that suggested she was with another man. I could hear heavy breathing and muffled words and a man asking if she was okay. I called out her name in anger, suspecting that she was cheating on me. Suddenly, the call ended. She called me back 15 minutes later and explained that she had fallen ill at work and was in the washroom while her boss checked on her. Even though I was furious, I decided to check her explanation. However, the audio of the call remained stuck in my head, and I couldn't shake off the feeling that something was amiss. In 2019, my parents made the decision to move out of the house they had lived in for over 16 years, as they were looking for a change of scenery. If I wanted to remain close to my ex, I had to find my own place. I asked her to move in with me, but she wasn't ready to take that step yet. In 2020, after a year of living independently and working full-time, I made the decision to return to school. I made the decision to pursue a bachelor's degree and had the chance to move in with my parents, who offered to let me stay rent-free. However, their home was located about 2.5 hours away from where my ex and I had lived earlier that year. I explained to her that I wanted to go back to school to improve myself and learn something that truly interested me. She was supportive of my decision, but 2 months before I left, my ex came to my house and told me that she no longer loved me. She told me that she was ending our relationship due to the challenges of long distance. After 3 days, she returned to me in tears, pleading for another chance. Despite my reservations, I agreed to take her back. Eventually, I relocated to my parents' home thanks to a transfer from my employer. Yet even with the move, maintaining a long-distance relationship with my ex became increasingly difficult. I began to feel anxious that she was no longer fully committed and, unfortunately, my fears were confirmed. After 3 months of no contact, she called to inform me that our relationship was over for good. We went 2 weeks without speaking until she reached out once more. Feeling alone and lost without her, I gave in and took her back. In 2021, we spent the first 5 months trying to fix what was broken between us. But with the start of school, I became so busy that I didn't see her for 5 months after we reconciled. When we finally met each other, it was like magic. Our connection was as strong as ever, and I felt like our relationship was blossoming once again. I even managed to pique her interest in some of my hobbies, which helped us bond even more. We celebrated my birthday together and even went on a trip, and everything felt amazing. In October of 2021, while my ex was back in her city, she broke the news to me over the phone that she had developed feelings for someone else, her coworker. She had developed feelings for her coworker, a 37-year-old man whom she had worked with for 4 years. She wanted to end our relationship because she felt it was unfair to continue having feelings for someone else while being with me. Although I agreed with her, I didn't want her to leave me again. I was shocked to learn that he was significantly older than her. She stopped communicating with me and became a terrible texter. Eventually, we broke up, and as fate would have it, You can probably guess what happened next. She returned to me even quicker than before and professed her undying love for me. She claimed that the only reason our relationship didn't work out was because I wasn't physically in the same place as she was. Despite my reservations, I decided to give our relationship another chance. Unfortunately, a week later, I received a call from her while I was at work. She admitted to cheating on me with the same guy for the past 2 months, and it shattered me into pieces. I was disgusted and felt the most intense anger I'd ever experienced. After 3 days of no contact, she reached out to me once again, begging me to come back to her. At that moment, all I wanted was to forget that she had ever cheated on me. Despite her infidelity, I still believed that she was the girl of my dreams and wanted to make things right with her. We continued our on-again, off-again relationship until recently. Yesterday, I traveled to her city to see her, but upon my arrival, she informed me that the other guy had shown up at her house. He apologized to her parents and even brought flowers, a cake, and a letter for her. I found this behavior to be incredibly strange. We booked a hotel room and spent the night showing our love for each other, despite the many obstacles we faced. The night was filled with compliments about my physique, how attractive we looked together, and how much better I was than the other guy. Although she felt guilty, she spent the evening buttering me up and making me feel special. The next morning, she drove me to the ferry and promised to visit me in a few days. We exchanged a passionate kiss and said goodbye, and she promised to return in just 2 days. However, when I returned to my city, she stopped answering my messages, and I knew what was coming. I received a series of texts from her, explaining that she couldn't leave the other guy and that she would always love him as long as he lived. My heart sank deeper than ever before. As it turned out, my ex had been with this man for over half the length of our 5-year relationship. She revealed that she had first hooked up with him during Christmas of 2017, which was almost 3 years ago. Looking back, I should have known that the story she told me on the phone was just another fabrication. She was already involved with him at that point, and I regret not following my instincts. If you're still reading this, I want you to understand that I was deeply in love with her. We discussed our future together, including having children and getting married. I never imagined that she would betray me like this. I am aware that I lack self-respect by reconciling with her. I am uncertain about how to proceed and let go of the past since she was my first true love.